We are live.
Welcome in, everyone. We are talking fantasy football week 1 hot takes with special guest Matthew Scott. How are you doing, Matthew?
I am good, sir. Wearing my Brady jersey, ready for the conversation today.
Oh, listen. I'm a Brady guy, so you're not going to get any pushback here. I understand that there will be haters and listeners afterwards, but I like Tom Brady. I think
if you want a ticket week 4, you need over $5,000 now.
Is that how much a ticket is?
Yeah, I saw fans wanting one, and they are now going for over $5,800 now for a ticket.
So you hear that, guys? It's over $5,000 for a ticket, or you go to your local Walmart or Best Buy and spend $500-$600 on an awesome flat screen. So the choice is yours, whether you like to be there in person or the coziness of your own home. You know, New England starts to get a little chilly around week 5, and but are you for you Pats fans? That should be fun seeing the Golden Boy back in town. Today we're talking week 1. We're talking week 1 fantasy football, first impressions. We're basically riffing here. So if you guys, in the comments, if you guys want to say something to us, things that you have seen, right? We're okay. I like feedback. Matthew likes feedback because we're all just trying to win our fantasy football league. That's all we're trying to do, right? Bragging rights, a little bit of side cash. It feels good. Matthew, take it away.
Well, my first game of the week that I really, really like is the Bucs versus the Cowboys. 2 high-scoring offenses. Both kind of gave up yards and gave up a lot of passing touchdowns last year, but the Bucs were very good at stopping the run. I see Zeke struggling. And really? I just think the Cowboys drafting Calvin Joseph, Micah Parsons, and Jabril Cox is going to be great fun to watch the Bucs offensive line protect Tom Brady.
Now, you think now is Zeke Elliott falling to the second round yet?
I think at some point when you've had a guy like Zeke Elliott with the workload he's had in such an early career, I think it can take a toll on your body. I think he bounces back from last year.
Okay.
But I believe there'll be more Tony Pollard next year.
Really? Okay, so you think this is the last year of quite possibly Zeke's effectiveness?
No. I think this is a year he's still going to be a top 5-6 running back this year.
Okay.
But I think the difference is he'll be more efficient. And I think when you're the Cowboys now, the offensive line was injured last year. He was running the ball and he wasn't getting the yards because he had second and third depth guys on that offensive line. And I think when he gets the line back, he won't need 25 touches for the ball. He'll be able to get away with 15 and still be putting 100-yard games. Okay. So it'll give more room for Tony Pollard to be that dynamic pass catching back or change of pace back. So that's the reason for me. I think he's not only good in fantasy, but a guy you'll see more of his skill in 2021.
Yeah. So, and the Cowboys defense was what, 23rd ranked?
Yeah, it was one of the worst defenses. They were getting they gave up 34 passing touchdowns last year.
Now they do get a new defensive coordinator, but it's tough to turn that around early.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going from 23rd, you're getting Tom Brady, you're getting Mike Evans, you're getting Antonio Brown. If the Bucs get up early, you know that Brady likes to run the ball and take some clock off late. So, I mean, you got Rojo, Ronald Jones, right? You got the monster Leonard Fournette, right? Those guys will be churning late. I do believe the Bucs win this one. Right? Don't you think the Bucs win, or you think?
I think the Bucs win. Where do you rate Leonard Fournette in terms of ranking running backs next year?
I rate Leonard Fournette as the greatest running back of all time. No, I kid. He's a physical specimen, though. Where do I rank him?
Yeah.
I like him and I haven't done any mock drafts. We're kind of just.
But no, where would you? What kind of level would you put him on? Do you think he makes a top 10 running backs in fantasy, or do you think he's probably, or would you comfortably put him in, say, the top 12, top 13?
Okay, so I'll do it this way. I'm happy. I think he finishes 11 to 15, but I think he makes you a happy 11-15 because he's not going to be that guy where you have to guess. I do think that, if the Bucks have it, let's say Ronald Jones pulls that hamstring, you basically know Leonard Fournette's the guy getting touches. So you're getting a number one back, in my opinion, quite the 8th round, 9th round.
Yeah. I agree. That's why it's going in my mock drafts. Yeah,
not a jobber either. Not a guy where you're sitting there like. So, and I'm not trying to belittle him, but Mike Davis filling in for Christian McCaffrey, you were like, oh, back and forth. Leonard Fournette, you're happy with that start. He's not going to be out there every week for you, but I do believe that when he is out there, he's getting the ball and he's probably giving you. I don't know. Did you watch the Super Bowl? That's not a bad performance. Over 100 plus yards, touchdown.
And in terms of the Cowboys, because this is a big discussion point for me, is do you rate CeeDee Lamb higher in terms of taking snaps off Amari Cooper, or do you think the dust will settle again and Amari Cooper will still be number one?
For me, I don't think I don't have Amari Cooper as number one wide receiver.
Okay.
Let's just get that for everybody out there. I don't have Amari Cooper as number one wide receiver. Let's get that straight. When Dak Prescott got injured last year, and then they had Andy Dalton, and then they had the Pizza Baker's son, Finucci or whatever.
Yeah, Ben DiNucci.
His name was right when they had that guy in there. He was that who it was? Yeah, he was in The Godfather, I believe. Or his great grandfather was. Anyway, so when they had that guy in there, usually a backup throws to his most athletic wide receiver who has the ability to get open the fastest and quickest for him. And that was not Amari Cooper that got the ball. He constantly looked to Michael Gallup.
And Michael Gallup, for me, is a brilliant sleeper because he always goes 10 to 12 in rounds, and he's always underappreciated.
Right. No one likes that horse, but he gallops. He's only one season.
He got 1,000 yards in 2019, and people forget that.
I think CeeDee Lamb is the answer for Amari Cooper going away. So I don't think Michael Gallup's going anywhere. And in fact, I think the transition between CeeDee Lamb being a number one could shift to Michael Gallup being the number one, or both of them being great number twos. I'm not a Amari Cooper guy. You guys could draft him early. He's going to give you a 34-point week and a 3, and then a 4, and then a 7, and then a 27. And you guys could deal with that. I don't have much hair left, and I don't want to rip the rest of it out. Right, Matthew?
I agree with you 100% on that one.
100%.
So, the next game I know that we'll chat about is Jets versus Panthers.
You think there's great fantasy value here?
Say that again.
You think there's great fantasy value in this game?
No, I this is more intrigue for me.
Okay.
The Jets are massively improved. So the offensive line had Elijah Vera Tucker come in. The Jets picked up Elijah Moore. They've already got Becton. They've already got CJ Mosley. They got Marcus May. They've got Quinton Williams. They added Carl Lawson and Sheldon Ranking. So they've got some really good players and added. The Panthers added J.C. Horn. They added Terrence Marshall Jr. So I think they're two very, very strong teams. But the underlying fact is the offensive line for Carolina has been improved dramatically over the last 2 years as well. Can Sam Darnold go to the Jets and give them the fingers up and go, you never gave me a line. You never, you traded me, you didn't never really believe me. You never gave me any weapons. Suddenly I've got weapons and I'm gonna destroy you. And I think he could do that.
He could. I don't know if it's in his nature. I think Sam Darnold has all the tools, but not the killer. He's a surfer kid. I mean, that's just what he is. I don't think he's not mean-spirited. Yeah. He's probably a fantastic boyfriend, right? He's always home. He's watching what movie do you want to watch it? But that's fine. Plays patty cake, right? Takes the kids, right? He's the first guy at the park, best dad in the world, but I think the Jets moved on from him because of some of those qualities. And that's not.
And how long does it take for Zach Wilson to find his feet in the NFL?
Well, and that's the other thing, because this isn't the greatest matchup for a rookie. Matt Rule is Matt Rule's a tough coach, and Carolina is going to be coming after him. And Zach Wilson, Zach Wilson's. I would guess that his whole jersey is going to be green. After this first matchup with Carolina, this is a test. He'll bounce back from it because I think he's mentally tough. But the Panthers are going to be tough, and I wouldn't really want a fantasy player in any of this game. Not even McCaffrey. Salah's going to send the house. Right? Salah! Right? That's what it is. It's a battle cry, right? Salah's going to be... Salah go out there and make tackles himself. Give me your pads, right? Robert Saleh. I was saying this last week that it should be a UFC battle and it should be a face-off between Robert Saleh and Matthew Rule, right? And it's just them staring themselves down.
If you had to predict an over-under for the game, what kind of over-under would you look at?
I think it'll open up at 42.5, and that's going to be close. It might open up at 44.5. You should take that line and take the under. That's how I feel.
And who do you think wins on the day?
I really believe that it's close. I think that Carolina wins, but Darnold doesn't look like he's an answer. Like, I think Carolina might win 17-14. Yeah. Somewhere in that area. Maybe they add another touchdown late on the ground. I'm not sure exactly how it happens. I don't think Zach Wilson looks as bad as everybody wants to talk about in the papers the next day. And I think Carolina Panthers fans went, we only gave up a 7th round.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a revenge game. It gives him a chance to show this is what I can do. And I think he may not do it, but this is the window for him to show the NFL, I've moved on and I've got DJ Moore. I've got Roby Anderson to 1,000-yard guys. I've got Terrence Marshall Jr. that will be a Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do something, it's a new coach, rookie quarterback. If you can't win this game or put up at least, I don't know, 270, that shouldn't be too much to ask for a quarterback that's been in the league a little bit, right? You can't put up 270 and win this game handily at home. It's no longer Sam I Am. No more Sam I Am. All right, so what's the next one? You got you liked Jacksonville versus Houston.
Now this is more of
help me love Houston players.
I want to see 2 rookie quarterbacks go against each other. Now, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick. Davis Mills, 4th round pick. And suddenly you're in the situation now where this guy could be thrust into the starting position as quarterback, only because by the second day did the Texans realize that Deshaun Watson's not playing, but everyone else realized long before the draft. But let's see what Davis Mills can do. At the same time, I want to see what Nico Collins and Brevin Jordan can do as they're in rebuild mode. So this is more to kind of showcase and see what players can do, give them the field, and let them prove if they can be the future of the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy I'm confident starting. I'm confident drafting. Later rounds, obviously. I think Trevor Lawrence could come close to, because it was a really good year. I think he could come close to how Justin Herbert played last year. I think he's a walking 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
He hasn't got a Keenan Allen. He hasn't got a Mike Williams.
I'm not a Keenan Allen.
He hasn't got a Hunter Henry.
I'm not impressed. I'll take DJ Chark over Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams plays half the season, so there's not much chemistry gain there.
That's where we differ. I'm a huge Keenan Allen fan.
I think I might rather
massively underappreciated.
I think I might rather Adam Thielen over Keenan Allen, and I think they're very close right now.
Oh,
I think they're very close. Like Keenan Allen gets injured a lot, and Adam Thielen's been a number 1 for a while.
Yeah, and when he plays, he puts up huge yards every game.
That's true. I mean, I don't want to be sitting here every Sunday skipping church whether and if Keenan Allen's going to play or not. I don't want to be sitting there. I like to pray for my family and stuff, not Keenan Allen's health. And I think sometimes you might have to do that. I think
what's
Trevor
your take
Lawrence
on
is good.
Brendan? What's your take on Marvin Jones at the Jags this year. What do you think he adds, and would he be a player you would look at in fantasy?
In the later rounds, like I think that's where he's been. I think so. He's not getting a downgrade. He's going from Matt Stafford to Trevor Lawrence. I know Matt Stafford is in the Hall of Fame already, but for argument's sake, we'll just say that he had 4, winning seasons in the past 12, which is the truth.
4 really good winning seasons.
Oh, they're fantastic. He had 2 9-7s in there. I mean, he's quite the winner. Oh, but he throws it great. Yeah, I know. Great. That's awesome. I think Trevor Lawrence will be good for him. Listen, Marvin Jones, I'll take him in the late rounds. I'll take it. Why would I? If I might take a Bateman in the late rounds. I might take a Marvin Jones Jr. in the late rounds. I'm taking some guys in the late rounds that I think if one of my key guys gets injured in weeks 5, we'll say 5 through 8, I could plug this guy in. And if he gives me 11 points, I did my work, right?
Who would you rather have come the end of the season
already?
Brandon Cooks or Marvin Jones Jr.?
Marvin Jones Jr. Because I think
even though Brandon Cooks will still be 1,000 or close to 1,000, despite how bad the quarterback play is.
Here's what could happen with Brandon Cooks. Okay, and I'm not saying it's going to, and he's never that kind of player. But if he gets hurt or he gets banged up, he's going to start looking around. He's going to call his agent, and he's going to go, dude, get me out of here. Okay, that guy got me. No, he is.
Yeah,
he is, and he's a professional, and he's going to do it under the radar. And listen, I came here to play with Deshaun Watson. Davis Mills, I'm not trying to play under a learner, okay? I played with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Davis Mills. I need surgery. And are you sure? Yep. I need lots and lots and lots of surgery. You're going to get to the offseason, find out that he didn't need as much surgery as he needed. He just needed to rest and be away from that team, and Brandon Cooks will move on somewhere else. He also was in the Rams under Jared Goff. He doesn't like playing under clowns. He's a consummate professional, and I think that Marvin Jones is a fantastic athlete, and he's under a good quarterback. Good quarterbacks are just people just think everybody's a good quarterback.
Who has the most receiving yards if they play 16 games?
If they play 16 games?
Yeah.
I'll take Brandon Cooks. I'll take Brandon Cooks, not by a lot, though.
What level do you think they get to? Do you think he gets 850, 800?
Yeah, that's kind of where
maybe 6 touchdowns?
Yeah, maybe. There's not any confidence anywhere. Listen, I know Texans fans. It's difficult. It hurts. But I don't have the slightest bit of confidence in anything that they're doing in Houston. Who knows? They drafted Davis Mills. Are they going to protect him? I don't know.
How about the Philip Lindsay take? If Philip Lindsay becomes the main running back, Mark Ingram only had 209 rushing last year, so he pretty much fell off the radar.
Mark Ingram
for the Ravens.
He's a paycheck right now.
If finally Philip Lindsay escapes a running back by committee and becomes the main running back, if he can get 230, 250 rushing attempts, are you interested in Philip Lindsay?
I'll tell you what. There is going to come a point, and again, we're going to start doing mock drafts on here. We're going to have a lot of fun with you guys, but there is going to come a point where you're in your fantasy football draft, and you're going to be staring down the barrel of Philip Lindsay's name, and you're going to sit there and you're going to go, it's almost the 6th round.
Yeah.
Is it time for Philip Lindsay, because he can do those things of what you just said? Am I going to take a wide receiver 3 or a gamble on Philip Lindsay? That's a real question. That's a real question. You guys are going to be up against the wall, and it's all going to matter. David Montgomery or Philip Lindsay, and you're going to start. Who's the starting running back in San Francisco or Philip Lindsay? Am I right?
No, I agree. I would take, in terms of San Francisco, I would always go Raheem Mostert as the man there.
rumors are he might not be the man there. It's early.
But as of now, unless I hear different, Raheem Mostert would always be the guy that I'd go for in the 49ers.
Well, you just heard different. Those are the rumors.
But but like I say, things change all the time, like Garoppolo and Trey Lance. I think that's going to be an ongoing rumor of who's going to start and who the coach likes the most as well. And was it the right guy? So that's going to. So what's the difference maker in this game? The Texans and the Jags. Is it the Texans running game, or is it the Jags running game?
Oh, Jacksonville's going to run the ball better. Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's going to be the reason they win the game, or do you think it because Trevor Lawrence and his big arm?
I think it's going to be Trevor Lawrence early, and you're going to go, all right, wow, okay, that kid made some throws. But, is he going to throw for 270? No, because he doesn't need to. And he's got two running backs out back there that could possibly both have touchdowns in this game. I mean, this is custom made for Clemson football to look great, and Houston's gonna be tough. I mean, I'll tell you what, personally, Philip Lindsay's probably the only Texan I would draft.
And how close is his game?
Not. Jacksonville wins by 16.
Yeah, because I've got this game. I can probably
think it's an NFL gift.
Yeah, I can see the Texans losing by 2 touchdowns, but I can probably see the Jags maybe scoring 28 and the Texans losing 28-14.
Yeah, I have it like 31-10. So I mean, we're right in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Somebody kicked a field goal somewhere else in our minds.
All
right, so moving on. What's our next game? Well, of course. Of course, you want Matt. Of course, here, look at. Of course, you want
Dolphins. Yeah, Dolphins and the Pats. I think we split games last year. Dolphins have got a very good team now. They continue to get better every year under Flores, and a bit like us, they in terms of interceptions, 18 and 19 interceptions, and I just think both our cornerbacks and our safeties are competitive, but also bullhawks as well. They've just picked up Waddle. We rebuilt our receiving core. Where is Tua? And is it Mac Jones or is it Cam Newton? So there's lots of aspects to put into this. But the fact at Gillette Stadium, it just gives New England that edge.
Yeah. I mean, look at. I think Miami wins the game. I think Tua, I think Waddle, I think all of their targets. I just, at the end of the day, New England has done well. They have retooled. That's a new football team, and I know it's a new team, it's a new year, it's a new this, it's a new that. It's not a new quarterback, and it's not a new quarterback yet. And Belichick is notoriously not great in September. For all those Cam Newton believers out there, good for you. I don't see it. I really don't. And I don't think Tua is much better, but if he's improved at all, I mean, Miami's a really good upcoming team too. It's not, this isn't your old Dolphins. I understand it's New England but Miami will probably be happy to get out of Miami for a little while and get some crisp air in their lungs. It's going to be hot down there all summer long. And then they get to go up to New England. It's still going to be nice and warm. And I just, for me, I think that this is the beginning of the end for Cam Newton.
One of the things I'm really excited about this year is Damon Harris. This is the year he's running back one. This is, he had 400-yard games last year, and I think this year he maybe makes 5 or 6. Sonny Michel, if we trade him, he doesn't make it. I can deal with that. He's not really been reliable for us anyway. But I think James White comes back. He's not the James White of past seasons. Don't get me wrong, but he's still good for 400 receiving yards. JJ Taylor's involved. Ramondre Stevenson is going to be that tough back that we haven't had since Blount. So I just think our running game next year is stout. I just think it adds a huge dimension to us and consistency we've not had for previous seasons.
Yeah, I mean, and we all know how they love their stouts up there in New England, right?
We do love our stouts. Sam Adams' best beer ever.
But hashtag Matt's Pats, right?
I agree. What's your, as a non-New England Patriots fan, what's your take on Damien Harris?
I like Damien Harris. I thought he was good last year. I thought that when we tried the Damien Harris experiment, we also were experimenting with Jarrett Stidham and Cam Newton's our guy again. And then, we were doing all these different things. I mean, he was averaging almost 5 yards a carry, but then you had offensive lineman getting injured. And then, Sony Michel's feeling good again. And then all of a sudden, Damien Harris hurt his ankle or something. And there was a lot of turmoil. I think that Damien Harris, when healthy, is the best back now. But New England, do they think so? Because, Damien Harris rolled his ankle. I mean, big deal. All of a sudden, Sony Michel's ready to go. He's warming up, and Sony Michel started looking really good. So, I mean, who is the best back when healthy? Really? Is it Michel?
I think we're doing Michel. I think we try and trade him. And the other big question of on the field and fantasy is the Dolphins running back situation. When are they going to sort this out? Do you like Myles Gaskin? Do you like Ahmed Salvin? That's kind of, let's be honest, they haven't got a great running game. And the other big question is how highly do they rate Devontae Parker now they've got Waddle?
I like running backs for me. Okay. I like drafting running backs that are that play in cold weather environments because they need to run the ball. So that's not Miami. Miami's never been a run-centric team. Even their undefeated seasons, I know they had some backs back there, but we're not talking about, running backs that you've had up in Buffalo. You're not talking about running backs that you've had in Cleveland and Chicago. I draft cold weather backs because those teams need eventually to run the ball. Bad weather backs. That's what we're doing, right? That's what we're creating, right? No, but that's what we're doing because it's a bad weather back.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I just think colleges, like you always say, colleges where it's cold and they've had a mixture of weapons, they're more weathered. So that's why they don't always work in hot climates.
Right. Okay, so our last game we're going to talk about today is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. Well, now, for me, I think you probably, I know we were chatting when we agree, this is more of a fancy game. Anybody that's got Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Kyle Pitts, Mike Davis. This is the game where week one, you're going to clear up on points because the Falcons are going to do a job on the Eagles.
And where are you drafting Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts is going for me anywhere between round 6 to round 10.
Oh, give me Kyle Pitts.
But are the Falcons really going to suddenly take lots of production and targets away from Hayden Hurst, considering the fact he almost had 600 receiving yards last year?
Yes. I actually, it's not going to matter because Kyle Pitts is going to act as a third wide receiver. I mean, he could run wide receiver routes. It's going to be who I honestly believe it's going to be Ridley, Jones, and Pitts, and they're going to move Pitts and Hurts around to different spots. And obviously, Hayden Hurts is more NFL seasoned, and that's not going to matter one bit. I like Kyle Pitts. Sixth round, probably not so much, but I believe that Kyle Pitts should probably go ahead of Evan Ingram now, don't you?
I agree on that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so the sexy pick or the pickup last year was Robert Tonyan in Green Bay. Without Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking Kyle Pitts ahead of him.
There's certain names, though, in the tight end game that I think you have to look at. So, do you think Logan Thomas continues to improve? and gets more, do you still think he has a high value? And the other name is Dalton Schultz. Will Dalton Schultz still be able to put up numbers like he did last year? Or do you think that was a one-off because of Blake Jarwin was down and the fact that it was Andy Dalton thrown to him and not Dak Prescott?
Yeah, I wouldn't put my eggs in those baskets, not unless I had to. Your tight ends are basically defined by now. So it's Darren Waller, it's Travis Kelce.
TJ Hawkinson has to be in that conversation.
I need to see what Jared Goff looks like out of McVay's offense.
He likes throwing to tight ends.
He does. Yeah, and I need to see TJ Hawkinson on the field consistently. I'd much rather Henry in New England there. Right? I'd much rather Henry in New England.
Henry's going to be the receptions guy. Jonnu Smith is going to be the touchdowns.
That's fine. I might rather either one of them than Hawkinson, because I don't know what Goff is going to bring. I know that Belichick brought in 2 tight ends for a reason, and I can kind of sleep well knowing that he's going to throw the tight end.
Would you look at someone like Mike Gesicki later on, or would you take a flyer on Zach Ertz in the 12th round?
I hope I don't put myself in that position at all.
Because I like Mike Gesicki as a tight end. I think he put up good numbers last year. He is a good tight end. Tua likes throwing to tight end. So he is somebody that he's not going to be a top 5 tight end, but he's still going to put up good numbers for you. Zach Ertz is an unknown quantity. What Zach Ertz do you get? Do you take the risk and suddenly take him late in the draft and you get an amazing Zach Ertz and you've won? Or do you take him late and if he's not good, just drop him?
If you're getting Zach Ertz with Jalen Hurts, I want nothing to do with him. I'm one of those guys too. I'm not in the Jalen Hurts camp. Okay, he's a fine fellow, but I need to see him throw the ball accurately to win games, and I mean really to win games. To have confidence in his throwing ability. That is the one thing that Lamar Jackson did do in college. Lamar Jackson knew he could run it and got better in his last year just by throwing the ball. He just threw it. And if it wasn't good, it wasn't good, but he still threw it. And Jalen Hurts likes to run it. And eventually they're just going to start creeping up on him, and he's going to have to throw in tight windows. And I haven't seen it. And if you guys have seen it, I mean, my name's right. It's at Jack Neary 27 on Twitter. Send me the videos of him hitting tight windows, because he doesn't.
So on the basis now, the Ravens have upgraded with Sammy Watkins, Rashad Bateman, and Tylan Wallace. Where does Mark Andrews fall? Is he still the tight end and the guy you can rely on every week?
Yep.
Or does he now take a step back?
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. Mark Andrews will be just fine. I understand that there are other pieces there, but there's a bunch of wide receivers too up in Kansas City, and Pat Mahomes likes throwing obviously cannons down the field, but he knows how to take and hit his pieces. Lamar Jackson actually likes a tight end over a wide receiver because he could throw it higher, a little bit more inaccurate, but he actually chooses a tight end over a wide receiver, whereas Mahomes chooses the wide receiver first. But that doesn't take away from what Kelce does either. That's my opinion. I'm not worried about Mark Andrews. Maybe I might take him around late and not sweat if I don't get him. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Kittle or Kelce, if you had to take a tight end first.
Oh, Kelce. It's not. I don't even have to think.
Because if Garoppolo plays, Kittle for me is the first tight end I take off the board.
I would have that would be for me. That would be agreeing that Garoppolo's a better quarterback than Patrick.
No, it's just their connection.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the only reason why. Not because I like Garoppolo, but I just know he is the first guy he'll look for on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that a bad quarterback feeds a good tight end because he doesn't look at the rest of the field. Sure, that's a really good argument. For me, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm not gonna sleep. Very difficult to 5 Kelce over Kittle. That's just kind of how I feel. No, it is. I look at Kelsey's the number one. Maybe Waller, then Kittle, and then we could start looking at tight ends down the road. But we'll get into all the rankings, right? This is the infancy. This is the very beginning of the fantasy football season, right? It's only May. It's only May.
Yeah, I think the first week is an interesting experiment to see how camp has gone, where connections are built, how free agency has worked. So I think it can take a month or so to get someone to understand the system. So I think week one's important to watch and learn, but at the same time, it's not the be all and end all of a team. If you don't have a good week one, you still have a couple of weeks to learn the system.
And we're going to be covering all that, right? Yeah. We're going to be on the forefront. We're going to be in the fantasy football trenches, covering every single one of these players, every single one of the games, matchups, whether or not rankings. We're doing all that stuff here. Matthew, thanks so much for coming on and chatting with us.
That's brilliant. At the same time next week, and
5:30.
And another hot topic to discuss, and we'll discuss it until the final points and keep everyone educated.
Don't watch too hard, though. These topics might burn you. See you guys next week.
See you, mate.
Yeah.
Bye.